The Netgear Nighthawk series sucks. There was a time when they were great. 6 months down the line or less, it dies. And support was horrible. And that's not just this one. That's the Orbi, the older 7500 Nighthawk. This one, all of the Netgear products I've had have died within 6 months. Stupidly enough, I kept buying them. That's where MSI came and saved the day. Previously, I reviewed the RoamII BE Lite and it was amazing. My speeds were incredible and I got reception throughout the entire house and even at my mailbox, my backyard, everywhere. There wasn't a spot that it was bad. The problem is it was dual band. These guys were triband, but try as hard as you want, this wasn't any good. Now MSI has the Pro and the Pro is triband and has a whole bunch more. So let's go over it real quick. I made do with it, but now is the RoamII BE Pro mesh from MSI. This is the big bad daddy, or supposedly is going to be. Up to 6,000 square feet. The BE Lite, about 5,500. Not a whole lot less, but still less. But so coming around here, we can see all the bands it supports, 6 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and 2.4 gigahertz. The BE Lite only supported 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It didn't support 6 gigahertz. Every single port on this device is 2.5 gigabits per second, which is awesome. And then you have all the other great features here. My big thing is the triband, the reach of the entire device across my house, across everywhere, so my kids and wife won't complain. And then the security, the FortiSecure has been awesome so far. It also gives you an IoT network. That way you keep not only devices, maybe your cable box or a few other devices that don't really need to access your network, your printer and other devices. So you keep everything segregated, which is beautiful. And then here kind of goes over everything. So now we got all the Ethernet ports as well. So let's go ahead and open it up real quick. All right, let's get started. Download everything and we'll go over this in a minute as we're setting everything up. Then we have the RoamII itself and we'll go over this in 1 second. This looks just like the other one. This is the main one. Now this, it's kind of a weird packaging. Here is going to be the outlet or the plug for the outlet for power. This is for the US. I'm sure they have others for the UK and everything. This will be the same thing. And this is the satellite. The satellite looks just like the main system. Here is the quick start guide. Okay, this is if you want to hang this up on your wall, which you'll probably end up getting the best reception away from other things that could cause interference like your microwave, your fridge, your ISP's modem, and other things along those lines. And then an Ethernet cable. So stuck on the main one is the QR code and everything needed to get everything activated. This is the back. You can sync and reset the firmware here so that it's back to being factory new. You have a USB 3.0 port. That way you can connect external drives and everything so that you can use it basically as an as. Then we have 3 Ethernet ports for 3 other devices in your home. And then the main port to come in directly from the modem. Then you have power. And the big old 7 across the side. I wonder if that one lights up. But anyway, here is where we get the LED light that turns on to let you know that it's online or waiting for a signal or anything. We'll see that in a second. So we need to connect this to power. So I am going to connect it to my UPS. And then this end to the Pro. Here is the Pro. We're going to connect power right over here. On its own, it can't really do anything. It needs something to connect to. So coming around the back of the Verizon router, I'm going to go ahead and connect the Ethernet cable they provide into the RoamII Pro. And you can use this one right over here. I'm going to place the QR code sticker on the back here. That way I don't lose it. And I'm going to be using that with my phone. And now we'll go to our Play Store and search for MSI Router App. And just make sure we download Router App 2 and then click Install. Now we'll go ahead and open it. Now it's going to take a few seconds to scan. Then we'll click Let's Get Started while using the app. Now we're going to scan that code again. please prepare first. We've already done all this. Now we've connected everything where it needs to be. It says here, when we see a solid blue light, the Roamii is powering on. Please wait for the pulsing blue light. Roamii 2 is ready for setup once we see that pulsing blue light. So we'll click next and then connect. And I agree. And then while using the app and allow all that stuff, then we'll select a device Wi-Fi, which we've already done. And now we'll click next and allow. Now it's finding it. Now we tell it where it is. It is in my office. Next. And now it's connecting the Roamii to the internet, and we'll select those defaults. So we'll change that admin username and the password. One sec. And now we'll select our time zone. Select your security question and now set up the Wi-Fi network. Let's rename it. Then we'll give it a password. And now we're setting it up. Shouldn't take long. All right, now save the Wi-Fi network. So here we see TBFY_P72. That's my network name right now. And let's try again to connect. And I forgot, it wasn't connected originally. And now the solid light, solid white light. Now we'll come over here to your network devices and let's find, there we go, TBFY_P72. Connecting to it now, and now we are connected. Just to make sure, let's go ahead and close out of that, and TBFY_P72. Now we can do a quick speed test just to verify. Whew. That's beautiful. High score. All right, and we'll play with that in a second. Let's go ahead real quick and let's open up the MSI router. We are connected to it, so try again. Great, we're connected to it. Now it shows us all the information here. That's perfect. So now we'll click next. Add more Roamies. Let's go ahead and take care of that real quick. So I'm setting up the Roamii kind of in the center of the house. Here we have the living room. Then from here we have the kids' rooms upstairs. Then the master bedroom here on the first floor. So I've already stuck the sticker on the back with the QR code. I'm going to place the router right here. Then I'll pass the cable through here and I'll connect it right into the router like we did before, and then into power. So then it says here, once the other Roamii in the same bundle kit are plugged in, they will be automatically added to the network within 5 to 7 minutes without any action. It looks like it might already be connected, so I'm going to go ahead and click next. Place another Roamii near the main unit. Oh, whoops. This is where I messed up on the last video. One sec. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that here. Now the Roamii setup here is about 6 feet away from this Roamii, maybe 5. So it's not very far. So here it says, wait for the lights to change. Setup will take within 5 minutes. So we are solid blue here. And we have the little indicator light right over here. Problem is, I don't know where they've been because I was too busy setting up the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Wait for all Roamii LEDs to turn solid white. All settings will be completed. While this is blue, kind of confusing, this one's white. So I'm going to assume that they're talking about that one. And then I'm going to click next. Now it's configuring the firmware. There's an update. So let's go ahead, auto upgrade. So this one is blinking while the main one is solid white. And my phone is at 11% now, 12. And the main one is blue again, solid blue. And so you don't freak out. This one is blinking amber. And while that one's blinking, this one is blinking blue. Now it's waiting for the Wi-Fi to reconnect. Now we got this one green while the other one is still white. Now asking us to sign in. So I'll click sign in here. Restore the installation process according to the following instructions. Confirm Wi-Fi connection. So come back over here. Let's go back to this guy here. Okay, and now let's go to I'm connected and sign in. And then now here we have a ton of options. All right, so here we can see our upload speed, our download speed, our current speed, what it's utilizing. And there's nothing on our network, so there's nothing to be worried about. It's a brand new network. And over here we can see security through the implementation of a suite of cybersecurity features and protective mechanisms embedded in the security center. It's confirmation. I agree. One sec. So now we are protected. Check devices, checking if connected devices are secure. We only have maybe one, maybe two devices, two, this being one of them. And then we have this one over here. So let's go ahead and interrupt that. We don't need that right now. So then over here under parental controls or parental, here we can see there's no traffic here, and we can add family members. There's nobody here right now, so I can't really add anybody. And then we'll go to advanced settings, internet wizard, detect your connection type, DHCP, yep. Next, complete. And there's not much really to compare or to complete right now because it's only us on the network. I need to connect everything else, and there's really nothing else on the network right now, so there's not much to configure here. So we're good here. Let's back out of, oh, okay. So sign in, okay. Next, sign in. All right, so then we're back here, and then we have Wi-Fi settings, all your settings here. QoS, which I'm going to need to enable that. My son was complaining that I was taking up too much bandwidth. I was. Whatever's connected through the USB port, you can set up here. It's for file sharing server, Samba server, FTP, and then eject the device, which is kind of nice. And then a host of other settings here. You can actually change the LED lights and then go to LED management. Let's go to lighting and we'll go to scrolling. And that was quick. So we'll go to all mesh units, and the other one is now scrolling as well as this one. So they're both scrolling. My wife will kill me. So what I'll do is my wife would prefer for it to be solid blue. And now the other one is solid blue as well. So this is cool that it lets you go through everything right through here. And then if you want to give them feedback, system information, management, I wonder what's there. System management, firmware upgrade, which we've already done. Let's go ahead and check online again. It's good. We have the latest. Perfect that it tells you all that. Then we can restart the system if we wanted to. We can either restart immediately or schedule a restart, which actually might not be a bad idea. And we can set up a VPN server. And then coming back over here, I'm going to put this out in the living room. I just connected it about 30 seconds ago, but we can see we're at a solid blue light. So I'm going to come in here. Everything looks good here. That's why it's a little deceiving at first. And now we're going through the amber blinking. That took about 5 minutes to go from one room to the next, connecting it, and then back to being online, now part of the same network, expanding the network overall. So I ran into an issue, completely my fault, but I was going to disable my network anyway, my Verizon. So let me walk you through that real quick. So first off, we're going to go under Wi-Fi, then under primary network, then we're going to disable all of these. So there is nothing here, Wi-Fi disabled completely, and everything under it completely disabled. So now I'm going to go ahead and disable that, and just realize that under here, we're under TBFY P72. So click apply and OK here and OK here. Now we've disabled the wireless adapter on the Verizon. That way we don't have MSI and Verizon fighting for wireless signal. And then that way is going to lower the performance of your overall network. Now it's only one, and that can go as far as it needs to, or as far as it can at least. This will also help prevent double natting as well. Now to do that, we'll come under here under HTTPS MSI router.login. And that is my antivirus. So I understand I'll take the risk. And yes, advanced and proceed. So 1 second while I log in with the credentials I've created during the setup. Cool thing is, and I didn't get to capture this, when I logged in through the web page, it told me that somebody else was logged in. That's me on my phone, so that's awesome that it's that secure. Coming under here, we want to do a few things, but I want to go over this real quick with you. If you're going to be using it in the configuration it is now, that they're both fighting with each other Ethernet-wise, they're both on DHCP. So they're both handing out IP addresses. You're going to get conflicts. We'll fix that in a second. Here is the dashboard. We're on it now. Here it shows how much processor it's utilizing, traffic, the connections, and all this stuff here, which I'm blurring out. Wi-Fi settings, go under here. Here it shows all the information, nothing scheduled. Then here we can see the SSID is broadcasting. We can disable that so you won't ever see this unless you type it manually on your phone when you're looking for the network. Just a little more security. And then here you can look at your password, which I won't do that. Here you can enable, disable 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, 6 gigahertz. You might want to disable 2.4 gigahertz because it's slow, but a lot of your devices require 2.4 gigahertz. So if you disable it, you might find out, hey, my camera stopped working or another device stopped working. Check out all your devices and verify that it can either use 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, or 6 gigahertz. 2.4 gigahertz is the most steady. That's why devices like to use that as well. And it reaches the furthest. And your wireless mode, your frequency, channel width, all that good information here. Guest network, I will not be using. Yes, it is disabled. I don't ever use guest networks, child networks. I might play with that for my kids, but for now, I'll leave that alone. IoT networks, advanced internet, it is dishing out IPs. We don't want that. And I'll come back to this in a second. IPTV, 40 secure, firewall. I wonder why that's disabled. I'm not going to bother waiting for that. So 1 second while this refreshes. Then QoS. I'll enable QoS through here. And that's all correct. And I will save this. USB, we don't have anything there yet. LAN, IPv6, which generally I turn that off, but I'll do that within Windows. I'm not going to be doing a VPN, but you can set one up here. VPN client, administration, and network tools. Now this is the part I'm going to be setting this up as an access point. So that's why it kind of didn't matter why I did QoS or anything, and I wasn't so much focusing on all that. Because I'm keeping everything here, I'm switching this to an access point. That way things don't fight. This disables DHCP on the MSI and hands over DHCP to Verizon. DHCP hands out IP addresses to all different devices. You might end up two devices having the same IP and causing an issue on your network. So this is going to clear up a lot. As it explains here a little bit, we'll click save here. And so now that that's complete, everything is going to work just about the way it did before when you were only using your ISP's modem. In my case, it's Verizon. You could have Comcast or AT&T or whatever it could be in your area. Let me know down below what ISP you utilize right now for your internet and maybe even for your TV. So now let's check real quick the wireless signal. So when the weather's right, like it is right now, we can come out with our laptops to the front yard and we can get on Spotify, watch a movie, do whatever right outside in the comfort of our own front yard and interact a little with nature on Wi-Fi. Now out here it starts to hurt a little bit because we're so far out. My house is back there and the ray tracing is amazing here. The blades of grass, the graphics are beautiful out here and the sound is in stereo. It sounds great. See the particle effects right there. So anyway, RTX is great out here. The Wi-Fi isn't the greatest, but we're out by the mailbox, far away from our home. We can't totally expect it to be. So even while we're out here with friends or family, we have full bars and we have pretty decent internet speeds. Not the greatest, but still pretty decent speeds. So fast forward a week, you've already seen the speeds that I've shown you setting this up. Immediately, we got great speeds. Outside, the speed wasn't that great, but I changed the frequency and everything. Now we have much better Wi-Fi. My neighbor's Wi-Fi keeps interfering. Of course, once you find the right channel, you're perfect. So we found the right channel. I've been using Wi-Fi Analyzer to find channels that maybe hadn't been touched by any one of my neighbors. And once I found the perfect channel, I swapped it like you see here and everything is golden. So still, every single nook and cranny in this house is covered by Wi-Fi and the speeds are still great. The original Be-Lite was great, but it was only dual band. This is now tri-band. There was fewer ports, now we have more ports, and now we have more wireless access further out and even better access. So I think MSI did amazing with the Pro. This is Iggy with ThisBytesForYou doing a review of the MSI RoamII Pro.